My sister's wedding was held at my restaurant. She opened my envelope last and said, "Oh, from him? Well, thanks," with a tone I can't quite forget. You know that moment when you realize you're not just hurt, you're used? Imagine pouring your heart and soul, and your wallet, into someone else's biggest day, only for them to dismiss you with a sneer. My sister's wedding, a day I'd closed my restaurant for, covered staff costs, arranged every single flower, ended with her looking at my gift and envelope and flatly saying, "Oh, from him. Well, thanks." Then she opened it. Inside, a printed invoice, $18,650 for 78 guests, itemized, full service. Her new husband blinked, confused. "Wait, are we covering this?" I didn't raise my voice, didn't even smile. I just said, "The gift was removed due to tone," and I walked out. No one followed. No one called my name. I just got in my car, drove home with the windows down, music off, and felt hollow. The first message came through at 2:07 a.m. Then another. By morning I had 3 missed calls, 2 voicemails, and an inbox full of emails with a new subject line. "We need to talk. Urgent." I didn't respond. But what happened at 9:04 p.m.? That I definitely didn't see coming. But to understand that moment, you need to understand how we got there. It didn't start at the wedding. It started 5 years earlier. My sister got a big promotion. She threw a celebratory dinner. Herself, her then boyfriend, our parents, her mentor from work, and me. I found out I wasn't on the list because she accidentally sent the group chat invite to me instead of someone else. I replied, "Thought it was for 6. She left me on read. I didn't bring it up. Just smiled at her LinkedIn post a week later. Grateful for the people who believe in me. No tag. No name. A year later, I bought her a new laptop when hers crashed 2 days before finals. No thank you. Not even a got it. Just a story the next day about grateful for the people who believe in me. I remember the birthday dinner I paid for. $1,900 for a rooftop in Soho. She said, "Oh, I thought you were just managing the bill," and let her friends split $40 each. I didn't speak up. I kept giving and they kept taking. But that wedding night something clicked. Not rage, just a cold, slow understanding. I wasn't her brother. I was a resource, a background player in someone else's highlight reel. And once that thought landed, the past rewrote itself in perfect clarity. The time my mom told me not to wear navy to Angela's graduation because you might clash in the photos. When Dad asked if he could temporarily use my credit card for a family emergency. And it turned out to be their Cancun trip. The Thanksgiving when I brought wine, dessert, and paid for catering, and still got sat at the folding table with the kids. It wasn't just the big things. It was the tone, the pauses, the group photos where I was always on the edge, always the one holding the phone, always the one taking it. Every favor I'd ever done was invisible by the next day. Every time I stepped back, they stepped forward like they'd never seen me. I once drove 5 hours in a snowstorm to pick up Angela from college because her roommate had the flu. She posted a selfie in the car, captioned, "Sometimes the universe sends angels." No mention of me. I remember that post because I was the one driving the car. And this is the part that hit hardest. It wasn't neglect. It wasn't forgetfulness. It was strategy. They liked me most when I was useful, silent, easy. Pay the bill, smile in the back. But ask for space? Say no just once? You're selfish, dramatic, unwell. And now on her wedding night in my own restaurant, I watched her open my envelope last like it was a chore. I watched her face fall when there was no check inside, just a balance due. I saw the pattern. I wasn't a guest. I was never truly invited. I was just there to help, quietly, consistently. And that's when the decision formed. Not loud. Not fiery. Just precise. I was done funding my own erasure. It wasn't about making a statement. It was about finally listening to the part of me that kept whispering, "This isn't right." I woke at 6:13 a.m., a tight knot in my chest. The wedding had ended hours ago, but I hadn't slept. I didn't brush my teeth. I didn't brew coffee. I opened my laptop and went to work. 6:15 a.m. I logged into the restaurant's accounting dashboard. Canceled every auto payment tied to the Kaplan wedding. Florists, linen rentals, specialty wine cases, extra staffing. I disabled transaction markers, revoked pending charges. I made sure each vendor got a short note. Order automatically canceled. Refund expected within 5 to 7 business days. 6:43 a.m. I pulled the raw guest ledger. Each guest, each entree, each glass poured. Exclusions manually removed. Discount code sheet arranged. Bar consumption. Menu surcharge. Room rental fee waived. I ran the numbers. Exactly $18,650 for the 78 names on the list. No rounding. No emotion. No tip because tips were included in the initial estimate from me as a gift and now revoked. 7:11 a.m. I opened my finance tracker, the same one I'd used to pay for most of the family holidays. Sorted all family-related expenditures from the past 3 years. Travel subscriptions, tickets, shared utilities, wedding website hosting. I uncovered the amounts. Flights booked under my name but billed to their cards. Shared streaming plus Spotify plus Apple accounts. I paid for wedding website hosting. $240 per year. Auto-renew set for 2 days later. Vacation home utilities I covered for 6 months last year. I built an Excel ledger, footnoted each line with receipts, dates, and where notifications never reached me. 7:45 a.m. I began system lockdowns. Google Drive shared backups, birth certificates, PDFs, vacation pics, revoked all access. Joint Netflix/Amazon family plan, reassign primary account to just me. Restaurant corporate discount codes, privately shared in her Slack and WhatsApp groups, flagged as internal breach, disabled immediately with warnings to the retailers. Wedding website domain transferred from their registrar to her husband's email. Included a consent note. Ownership transferred. Auto-renew disabled. With each click, I dissolved another silent expectation. 8:59 a.m. I got a text from Dad. You've humiliated Angela in front of everyone. Your invoice stunt is childish and cruel. 9:02 a.m. I declined a call from Mom. She called twice in a row. 9:30 a.m. I sent Angela a simple message. That invoice is real. Terms net 10 days. Interest then applies. Apologies for the tone. Full breakdown attached. Then I blocked her. Simultaneously, I compiled a clause-based email package titled Family Financial Contributions, Full History. 67 pages long, full of dated screenshots, bank statements, and vendor confirmations. I uploaded it to a secure drive watermarked and sent it to myself with timestamp stamps. 10:14 a.m. I printed one copy and left it in an unmarked envelope on the dining room table at my home. No note. 10:35 a.m. I received a push notification. Balance $0. The bank reversed the money from the florist and caterer. Refund notices began arriving. Then an alert. Invoice viewed. My sister's email address. The PDF. She viewed page 1. Nothing further. 12:05 p.m. I drove to the restaurant and unlocked the back. Staff were quietly cleaning up the chairs. I asked for the Kaplan event folder. An internal file with prepayments, bookings, and authorized checks. I shredded it in front of the floor manager, then handed them a sealed digital drive. Inside, the full ledger again, legal-grade PDF, folder title, termination, Kaplan Family Infrastructure. I told them, if they call, forward everything to my lawyer. No phone calls, no negotiations. Back in my car at 1:18 p.m., I opened LinkedIn and saw her husband's post. Amazing day at my sister-in-law's restaurant. Thanks for hosting. Big love to the team. No tags for me. No mention of me. Commanding photos of people under the neon sign. Just everything rewritten. Around 2 p.m., I got another message from Dad. Family dinner tonight. Don't expect my inheritance. At 2:17 p.m., Angela emailed again. You're delusional. We never asked for refunds. Your behavior is unacceptable. I didn't reply. At 3:27 p.m., there was a knock at my door. I opened it. Standing in a tailored navy suit was her advisor, the one who messaged at 9:04 p.m. the night before. He'd arrived unannounced. He took a deep breath, then handed me a slim letter with a crisp watermark. It read, Dear Mr. Kaplan, subject, third-party notice, release of liability regarding Angela Kaplan event. This document certifies that major credit card companies, specific vendors, and family insurance carriers have notified us. They were unaware the charges were meant as gift coverage free of cost. They will not require repayment from you. They have retracted all chargebacks. They have indicated your sentiment of tone removal is recognized, but no legal liability exists on your part. They will not oppose any future recalibration of shared family assets if initiated by you. Additionally, please consider this a formal gesture of support. At the bottom, the advisor's signature plus a second name, Emily Roth ESQ. Someone I'd never heard of. And here's the twist. Also enclosed, a waiver of liability from your parents and sister, notarized 2 weeks before the wedding. They propose to reimburse you precisely $5,000 as a combined wedding gift, signed under Kaplan Family Fund. That check was mailed last week. I blinked. The check was lost in transit and insurance has reimbursed the full amount to the family fund without notifying you. The letter ended. If you wish to accept the $5,000 gift reduction and close this ledger, fine. Otherwise, the infrastructure audit stands. And if any liabilities emerge, we will defend you. My internal logic froze. The pattern was real. The costs were real. But the implied recognition. They'd actually made plans to recognize me proactively with terms they hoped I wouldn't see. That was new. That letter changed everything, because they'd already counted on my silence. The email subject line was, "What you did was cruel." That was the first. Then came the rest. By morning, my inbox looked like a war zone. My mom, dad, Angela, even her new husband now chiming in. Voice notes, paragraphs, screenshots of group texts I wasn't in. Angela's first message read, "I can't believe you'd sabotage the happiest day of my life over your ego." My dad said, "You crossed a line. You're not acting like a son or a man." And Mom, "This is exactly what happens when you isolate yourself. This bitterness isn't healthy. Family should be safe." That word, safe. They used it like I had attacked them with a weapon when all I'd done was itemize what they took. I said nothing. I opened no voicemails. I ignored the buzzing phone. That made it worse. By 1 p.m. they escalated to guilt bombs. Photos of Mom wiping her eyes at brunch. Angela holding up her torn wedding program like it was a symbol of war. Even a text from my cousin Luke, someone who hadn't spoken to me in years, saying, "Come on, man. She's your sister." This is petty. Petty. I bled for them quietly for years. Paid, organized, absorbed. Petty was the one thing I wasn't. Still I said nothing. That silence, it broke them. Not because I wanted power, but because silence was the only way I could protect my peace. For once I chose myself. Because they needed me in the narrative. They needed a villain to scream at, and I'd gone mute. Then came the drive-by. At 6:13 p.m., a dark sedan pulled up outside my apartment. I watched through the blinds. My father stepped out first, face flushed. Then Angela and her husband, and finally my mother. They didn't knock. They banged. 3 fists on the door, a pounding rhythm. I didn't open it. Angela started yelling through the door. "You want to be iced out? Fine, but don't think for a second this makes you strong. It makes you pathetic." Then Jack, her husband, shouted, "You embarrassed us. You made us look stupid. Are you proud of that? Over what? A bar tab." I stood on the other side of the wood listening. Thor, my dog, was growling low, vibrating under my palm. Then came Mom's voice. Not angry, worse, broken. "Andrew, we just wanted a good day. One day. You turned it into this. Into legal threats. Into invoices. Into something ugly." Still I said nothing. Finally, my dad. "You're not family anymore. You made that clear." That was his parting shot. They left eventually, but they didn't go quietly. That night, my aunt posted a photo of Angela crying on Instagram, captioned, "When the people you love the most twist the knife deepest." That was the new game, public framing. 2 days later, I got an email from Angela's lawyer, or at least someone claiming to be. A single line. "We'd like to understand your intentions going forward." No signature, no firm. Just pressure disguised as politeness. Still I said nothing. I forwarded the email to Emily Roth ESQ, the name from the waiver document. She replied in under 10 minutes. "Ignore. Let them sweat. If they push, I'll respond." That same night they tried one last move. A video message from Mom for minutes. I didn't watch it all, but the first line burned. "You were always difficult. You just never realized how much we carried you. I shut my laptop and sat in the dark. That was the truth. Not about me. About them. They didn't want resolution. They wanted control. And now that I'd taken that away, they were scrambling. Not because they lost me, but because they lost the version of me who never said no. Started with a tweet. Just 13 words. My sister got married in my restaurant. She left with a free wedding. No tags, no names. It went viral in 4 hours. People connected the dots fast. The venue photos were all over Instagram already. The neon sign. The bar. The cake. Everyone who'd posted hashtag Kaplan Wedding Weekend was now linked to a single thread titled, The Invisible Brother. By midnight, the quote tweets were brutal. Wait. She opened his gift last and sneered? I hope he charged for the champagne tower. This is why you always send invoices. Angela's friends tried to defend her at first. One of her bridesmaids replied, Not everything is about money. Family should be above that. Someone else responded, So, you expect the restaurant owner to just absorb a $20,000 cost? LOL. I didn't post follow-ups. I didn't need to. Others were doing it for me. Within 24 hours, someone had screen recorded her Insta story where she said, I'm just glad my brother finally did something nice. That clip hit 1.2 million views. But the real blow came on day 3. An anonymous user posted a Dropbox link titled Kaplan Wedding Expense Trail.pdf. It was my file. The full 67-page breakdown of costs, screenshots, and bank records. No one outside the family had ever seen it. I had watermarked it private use only. Only 2 people had the file. Angela and my lawyer. The leak didn't come from me. It came from her. Whether by accident or stupidity, someone in her circle uploaded the whole thing, probably trying to disprove my claim. What it did instead was bury them. The receipts weren't vague. They were surgical. Full wine invoice signed by Angela. Vendor confirmations using my payment card. A photo of Angela's handwritten RSVP next to the seating chart. Make sure we're seated near the windows. Comment sections exploded. By day 4, my inbox was full of interview requests. BuzzFeed. Insider. The Cut. One even offered a 5-figure deal for the full story and exclusive quotes. I declined them all. I wasn't doing this for fame. I was doing it for gravity. They lied. I let the truth fall. The shift came slowly at first. Whisper networks. Old family friends stopped commenting on her posts. Her husband's business page lost a few dozen followers. Then the big one. A vendor Angela had tagged, a cake decorator, commented, We were told this was a paid gig. Interesting. She deleted the comment. Then she deleted the post. But by then it was too late. The lie had cracked. The performance was over. And here's the irony. I still didn't say anything. I hadn't released a single statement. No TikToks, no interviews. I just shared the original tweet, and then logged out. Because the truth had a voice of its own. And when the balance tipped, they felt it. Angela's wedding Instagram went private. Her husband's business page quietly deleted 2 celebratory posts. Even my parents pulled back from their church board citing stress. And still no one called me. Not to apologize. Not to explain. Not even to threaten. Because now they weren't just embarrassed. They were exposed. That was never the goal. But sometimes when you stop covering for people, the truth naturally surfaces. They shaped a version of events. I simply clarified mine with facts. I didn't react with emotion. I chose to act with clarity and boundaries. I didn't call the press. I opened a Google document. At the top, Kaplan Wedding Cost Summary and Family System Breakdown. It was 67 pages. Every charge timestamped, every email archived, every text screenshotted. And at the end, a single paragraph. This isn't about blame. It's just a clear account of what happened. I shared the link with no one at first. I watched in silence as Angela posted her thank you carousel. Photos of her and Jack under the neon sign I paid for, dancing on floors I waxed, kissing while friends threw petals I had ordered and arranged. No tag. Not one. Then the first journalist DM'd me. Local Culture magazine. Hey, someone shared your wedding thread. Mind if we do a profile? Sounds like a modern-day Cain and Abel. I ignored it. Then came the TikTok. A random user, not even a mutual, posted a summary of my original tweet. When your sister gets a full wedding in your restaurant and acts like you're the caterer. Over 1 million views in 24 hours. The narrative was out. Choosing silence gave me space, and others began to notice what I never said aloud. Angela's defenders showed up. First timid, then emboldened. Maybe it was a misunderstanding. He should have talked to her instead of going nuclear. He embarrassed the family. But then someone dropped a folder. An anonymous user posted a zip file. Kaplan expense files verified. Inside. Every PDF I had sent to Angela. The invoice. The vendor logs. The receipt for the wine case her husband claimed was a gift. The record of my Netflix account with 5 devices still listed under Angela's. Bedroom, mom's iPad, dad's TV, kitchen, and guest room. It wasn't a leak. It was a spotlight. And it burned. I didn't light that fire. I just stopped standing in front of it. Letting the facts speak wasn't closure. It was release. She went private the next day. Her husband's business page quietly deleted 2 celebratory posts. Still, I said nothing because I didn't need to. The document spoke in my voice. Just facts. No adjectives. Then the vendors chimed in. The bartender DM'd me. I always thought it was weird how she said, "My brother's covering it." Don't worry. I thought you offered. The florist emailed. So sorry. I had no idea you were never thanked or reimbursed. Just know your arrangements were the best we've seen in years. Even the photographer uploaded a reel on TikTok. Yes, I was paid, but now I feel gross knowing who paid for it. That post reached 1 million likes. His follower count doubled. Angela's count dropped. Then came the final push. The reappearance of the $5,000 check. Emily Roth called me herself. Found it, she said. Cashed under a shared family account. Your father's name on it. Deposited 2 weeks before the wedding. So they knew. All along they knew I'd carried the weight. And they still let her perform her little speech. Oh, from him. Like I was an afterthought. They weren't just inconsiderate. They were calculated. They tested how much I'd absorb before breaking. And now that I'd gone silent, they scrambled. They didn't reach out to reconnect. They reached out to manage how things looked. I would have welcomed an honest conversation, but all I saw were strategies, not sincerity. Angela's final email was titled, "Please consider the bigger picture." Inside, "You're blowing things out of proportion. This isn't just about money. It's about family, about keeping relationships intact." The public thing? That was a low blow. She ended with, "Please take everything down. Let's resolve this privately." I didn't reply. I added her email to the archive and updated the Google Doc with a new section. Post-wedding attempts to rewrite narrative. Then I made one quiet move. I provided the full file to a journalist, for transparency, without adding commentary. Just the line, "This is my final contribution. Use wisely." The article went live 2 days later. The Invisible Brother. A case study in modern family exploitation. It was respectful. No names, no photos. Just quotes from my documents and a stark breakdown of the pattern. When someone is used long enough, the silence stops being generosity. It becomes survival. The piece went viral. Friends I hadn't heard from in years messaged me. An old colleague wrote, "Reading that hit hard. Hope you're good. I see you now." But the best moment came quietly. One of Angela's bridesmaids, the loudest defender on Instagram, messaged me. "You were right. I didn't see it, but I do now. I'm sorry." That night, for the first time in years, I turned my phone off. Not out of exhaustion, but peace. No buzzing, no guilt bait, no unread "please call me" texts. Just quiet, clean, and complete. Not because I won, but because I stopped losing myself. That was the real closure. So, I finally itemized the cost of being invisible and let the truth speak for itself. What would you have done in my place? Have you ever had to draw a clear boundary with family when they just kept taking? Tell me what you think, I really want to know.